I'm here with John Barnard, Alun, Pugh and Graham Jackson, and we've just had our second meeting at Ty Hyll, the Ugly House, and that's the main offices, isn't it, Alun, of the Snowdonia Society?
Yes, it is indeed, and all the data has now been prepped up in terms of the programme on all the Society's computers, and it'll be ready to receive the live data in due course, and we're looking forward to seeing exactly what it will be.
And of course, when you said that the computer system's been prepped up, John and Graham, if I come over to John, you spent quite a bit of time, didn't you, John? I think loading up software, so the...
Yeah, we've loaded up all the software you need to do the processing, and first have little programs that have to go with it, so we're ready to go.
And that, of course, is to process the data that we collect on Tryfan.
On the day of the survey, on the 21st of June.
Yeah. Now, if I come over to Graham, we've had a meeting with Chris Dearden, BBC Wales reporter again, and one of the good things that's come out of this second meeting is that we've now got various dates, haven't we? I think we're planning to meet in Ogwen shortly, aren't we?
We're going to meet in Ogwen, we're going to do a bit of filming. Out of that, we're also going to come and recce the mountain sometime between now and June the 21st, and then of course we've got the day itself.
And of course you mentioned June the 21st. If I come over, if I come back to Alun, I think that is the day to go, isn't it, Alun? So far that we've got.
Indeed it is, and hopefully the weather on the 21st will be as good as it is today, and the ridge will be dry. And you guys will all have a dry day, and you won't be soaked in the rigours of a Welsh summer. But we can't depend on that.
No guarantees.
None whatsoever.
But I think with that date, that's a Monday, isn't it, June the 21st? And then obviously we've got provisional dates afterwards penciled in just in case the first date the weather isn't too good.
Yeah, there's a variety of alternative dates, but you can't really depend on the Welsh weather. We'll just keep our fingers crossed and see what happens.
Yeah. So when we meet up with Chris next time, I think Graham mentioned that the thinking is to do a little bit of filming in Ogwen, and I believe some of that is for the... Now, is it March the 15th that I believe the Snowdonia Society magazine is due out at, Alun?
The Society magazine will be dispatched in the middle of March, so it'll be there or thereabouts on the 15th, but it'll be up on our website on the 15th.
So, of course, what Chris is planning to do with the filming in Ogwen, hopefully with Tryfan in the background, is to almost have that in the can. He's planning to do some radio reports and some filming for the BBC. And then that's going to coincide with the public announcement via the Snowdonia Society magazine, and hopefully go out on the BBC News.
Yeah, that's when it all hits the public domain. It'll go in the middle of March, and we'll see how much interest we get from the public. But whether or not Tryfan is 3,000 feet or above or slightly below, it'll still be a pretty special mountain to everybody who enjoys this very special part of North Wales.
Yeah.
And we're still planning the reconnaissance, aren't we, Graham? That's going to...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we are. That will be when the weather improves, be a little bit warmer, and we need to go up there. We need to see how we're going to set up the equipment, where we're going to set it up, things like that, so that on the day we can get straight up there, get the equipment up and running, and start collecting data as quickly and efficiently as possible.
And of course, one of the great things with the reconnaissance is that although we penciled in the 21st of March and that week afterwards for the actual day of the survey, the reconnaissance we can pick and choose when we go up there, so we're not...
Yeah, we can pick a fine day, that's absolutely right, really. So we shouldn't be up there in dousing rain. That's the plan.
And if I come over to John, now we've probably discussed this before, John, but of course on the day of the survey, Summit poses its own difficulties as far as the survey is concerned, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got two blocks there, about 3 metres high I think we are, and one of the blocks I think Adam is declared the summit. It's got a sloping top on it, so we'll have to set the equipment right up on the edge, so it'll be interesting. We'll probably have to end up strapping the antenna to the edge of the rock and setting it exactly the same height as the top of that sloping block. So yeah, the recce, we'll find out how to do it. There will be some problems to sort out.
And of course the reason for the recce is that on the day of the survey, I think Chris has penciled in a radio report from the summit between 8 and half 8 in the morning.
So we've got to know what we're doing when we get there straight away and get down to it, as Graham said earlier.
Yeah, it's going to save an awful lot of time.
Yeah.
The time you spent on the reconnaissance will save time on the day of the
So we're
survey.
straight to knowing what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And of course we can minimise the amount of gear we need to take up, so that'll help as well.
Yeah. Do you think Alun could arrange some North Walian Sherpas for us to carry all the equipment up on the day, or?
Well, we'll put an appeal out, but I wouldn't necessarily bet on the fact you'll have a team of Sherpas to load all your gear. I'd leave some space in your rucksack. So
It's down to you, Merlin.
And of course, Alun, you have a mountain leadership certificate, don't you? So the good thing with that is that people from the BBC that are accompanying us on the day of the survey, you're actually qualified almost to cover the health and safety aspect of it, do you think, or not?
Looks as if I've been given an appointment as the safety officer for this crew, which means that you're all going to have to listen to exactly what I tell you.
Yes, sir.
First.
Now, on the actual day of the survey, Alun, Tryfan, we all know it's one of the most iconic mountains in Wales.
Yep.
It has various very, very good routes to the summit. Any sort of preference, do you think, looking ahead? What route to take?
Well, the easiest way up is probably going up the south ridge. The sporting line is up the north ridge, and the crazy line is straight up these faces. But I wouldn't recommend you do that with all your surveying gear.
Well, I'm just wondering. I think you almost have to look at it from the BBC angle, and I think one of the most picturesque routes is from Ogwen up to Bulk Tryfan and then up going up the South Ridge, but certainly the most dramatic is the North Ridge, isn't it?
The North Ridge is certainly the most dramatic way if you're not of a rock climbing disposition, but I can heartily recommend Grooved Arete on the North Face. It's a big classic mountaineering diff with lots of exposure and one or two dodgy moves. I'm sure you'll thoroughly enjoy it.
Well, that sounds good. How do you fancy that, John, with all the surveying gear?
Well, we have to have the poles and the tripods attached to our backs, so we will need free hands for that.
Well, if we sort of almost time to wrap up really now, but the project to survey Tryfan, it's progressing quite well, isn't it? We've got Chris on board, and he's come up now with and yourself, Alun, with sort of dates that we can make as well. So we've got those penciled in. We've got the meeting with Chris in Ogwen coming up shortly, and a reconnaissance that probably myself, John and Graham will conduct maybe in April. And then we've also got the day of the survey penciled in, and days after that as well as provisional days. That was well timed, wasn't it? So the project in its entirety, it's progressing quite well. Can you think of anything else to sort of add to it for now, or?
Not really. I think I'll see you guys again in 5 months' time. You take care.
That sounds good. Well, many thanks both. Cheers.
Yep.